Boat Yongyut has always been known for his bright smile and confident energy. But behind that smile, he has been carrying pressure, backlash, and non-stop criticism from social media. Recently, the pressure caught up with him, and something unexpected happened. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this story to keep the light burning for truth and compassion. During a rehearsal for an event, Boat suddenly became quiet. He tried to speak, but his voice was weak. He kept taking deep breaths, but nothing improved. He looked down, shook his head, and tried to smile like everything was fine. Oat Pasakorn noticed immediately. He walked over and asked him, "Boat, are you okay?" Boat tried to answer, but his voice cracked again. He looked away, blinking fast, trying to stop the tears in his eyes. He didn't want anyone to see what he was feeling. Oat moved closer and said quietly, "You don't have to hide it. I'm here." That was the moment Boat finally let go. Not loudly, not dramatically, just a small, painful release of everything he had been holding inside. His shoulders shook. His eyes filled with tears. He covered his face with his hand, embarrassed to break down during work. Oat didn't look away. He didn't step back. He placed a hand on Boat's back and guided him behind the curtain so no one else would see. Boat whispered,
"I'm tired.
"I can't handle the hate anymore." Oat replied, "You didn't do anything wrong. People talk because they don't know the truth." For a few minutes, Boat let the tears fall. For the first time in a long time, he allowed himself to feel everything he had been hiding: stress, sadness, fear, and confusion. Oat stayed right there beside him. He didn't rush him. He didn't force him to talk. He just let Boat breathe. After Boat calmed down, he wiped his face and tried to pull himself together. He kept apologizing, but Oat stopped him. "You don't need to say sorry. You're human." Later, Boat returned to the stage. His smile was softer than usual. His eyes were slightly swollen. But he continued the event, and fans cheered loudly. Many fans noticed something different about him that day. They said his energy felt heavier, and his smiles looked more fragile. But they also noticed Oat staying close to him, adjusting his mic, guiding him gently, and keeping an eye on him throughout the event. Clips of their interactions went viral. Some fans thought something big had happened behind the scenes. Others believed the two were supporting each other through a difficult time. Days later, during a live stream, Boat's emotions slipped again. A fan asked, "Are you happy these days?" Boat smiled, but the smile dropped quickly. His eyes looked watery again. He took a deep breath, and before he could answer, Oat placed his hand on Boat's back, just like before. Fans caught that moment instantly. Screenshots spread across social media with comments like, "Boat looks tired. Oat is protecting him. There's something going on." This time, instead of backlash, the public reacted differently. People became more concerned. Fans asked the agency to give Boat rest. Supportive messages began to trend online. The hate started to decrease. The support grew stronger. Boat slowly began to feel less alone. And through everything, Oat continued standing beside him, quietly, patiently, and consistently. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the story to keep the light burning for truth and compassion. After Boat's emotional moment backstage, many people believe things went back to normal. But the truth is this: Oat was struggling too. He didn't cry openly the way Boat did. He didn't break down physically. But the responsibility he carried started to grow heavier every day. He checked social media quietly late at night. He saw the comments people wrote about Boat. He saw the rumors, the overanalysis, and the twisted narratives. Even when Boat pretended he didn't care, Oat knew he cared deeply. So Oat tried to take the impact for both of them. He started checking Boat's schedule. He made sure Boat had time to rest. He talked to staff to keep things calm around them. He controlled the atmosphere during events, so Boat wouldn't get overwhelmed. None of this was visible to fans. None of it was loud. None of it was dramatic. It was silent support, the kind that happens when the cameras aren't rolling. Even with growing fan support, they still had to deal with stress and long hours. Filming, fan meets, interviews, online content, brand work, practice sessions. Schedules packed back to back. Boat was already emotionally tired. Oat was mentally drained. But the industry doesn't slow down just because someone is exhausted. Some days, Boat showed up with a soft smile that didn't fully reach his eyes. Other days, Oat looked more serious than usual, as if he was thinking about something the whole time. Boat looks tired. Oat looks stressed. Something is going on. These comments were not attacks. This time, they came from fans who were genuinely worried. But the constant attention made Boat and Oat feel even more pressure. They didn't want their fans worrying. They didn't want their work affected. They didn't want rumors starting again. So they kept trying. They kept smiling. They kept acting normal. Even when normal wasn't how they felt. At a major fan event, something unexpected happened again. Boat paused. He opened his mouth to answer, but nothing came out at first. He looked down and took a long breath. The room went silent. Oat quickly stepped in and answered for him. He said, "We stay strong because we have people who believe in us. And we try our best not to let them down." Boat looked up slowly. His eyes were glassy, but he forced a small smile. He nodded along, grateful that Oat took the pressure off him. Many fans noticed the way Oat watched Boat before answering. It wasn't for the camera. It wasn't for fan service. It was concern. Real concern. Clips from that moment spread online again. But this time, the reaction was positive. Fans wrote, "Boat is going through something. Oat is really taking care of him. They protect each other." The tone online continued to shift. More support. Less negativity. More understanding. After weeks of stress, Boat finally began to recover little by little. He started taking longer breaks between tasks. He limited how much he read online. He talked more with Oat about how he felt. He even opened up to a few staff members he trusted. Oat made sure Boat never felt alone. Whenever Boat got quiet, Oat checked on him. Whenever Boat looked overwhelmed, Oat changed the conversation. Whenever Boat seemed tired, Oat cracked a joke or teased him just to make him smile. And slowly, Boat's smile became real again. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't instant. But it was progress. Fans noticed the change too. They began to comment things like, "Boat looks brighter today. He's smiling more. Oat is doing great taking care of him." The fandom felt united for once.
No arguments. No series.
Just support. Boat learned something important. He didn't have to be strong every day. He didn't have to pretend when he felt overwhelmed. He didn't have to keep everything inside. And Oat learned that caring for someone publicly and privately are two very different things. He understood Boat's emotional nature better. He learned how to support without forcing. He learned how to carry responsibility without complaining. Their bond grew stronger. Their teamwork became smoother. And their trust deepened. Not because of a series. Not because of fan service. Not because of acting. But because they faced real pressure together and survived it together. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this story to keep the light burning for truth and compassion. After weeks of tension, tired eyes, and emotional pressure, something began to change for Boat and Oat. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but slowly, quietly, and steadily. The atmosphere around them started to feel lighter. The hate reduced. The support grew stronger. And for the first time in a long time, they both felt the pressure lifting off their shoulders. Their agency announced a new project, a behind-the-scenes documentary series. It wasn't scripted. It wasn't staged. It was meant to show their real work, their real days, and their real efforts. At first, Boat hesitated. He was afraid people would judge him again. He was afraid his emotions would show too clearly. But Oat encouraged him. He said, "Let them see who you really are. The real you is better than any rumor." Boat agreed, but only because Oat promised they would do it together. Filming started quietly. The crew was small. The atmosphere was calm. There were no bright lights or huge cameras. Just two people working, talking, and living their real routines. And something happened during filming. Boat began to relax. He laughed more. He talked more. He opened up naturally. He felt safe again. Oat noticed the change and was relieved. For weeks he had been carrying both his stress and Boat's. Now he could finally breathe too. During one filming day, Boat tried to read a message from a fan who said they supported him no matter what. While reading, he paused. His voice shook slightly. He took a deep breath and said softly, "I didn't know people cared this much." He smiled, a real smile this time, and wiped the corner of his eye. Oat patted him on the back and joked, "Don't start crying again. We'll both end up emotional." They both laughed. Later, the production team released this 18-second clip online as a teaser. It went viral instantly. Fans commented, "Boat looks like he's healing. Oat is really his support system. This is the real moment we needed to see. Protect them at all costs." The shift in the public was clear. People weren't criticizing anymore. They were comforting. They were defending. They were supporting. The backlash era was starting to fade. Their next public appearance was a fan signing event. Many people expected Boat to look tired again. But when he walked onto the stage, he surprised everyone. He looked fresh. He looked calm. He looked confident. He wasn't forcing his smile. It was genuine. Oat stood next to him with the same relaxed energy he had before the stress began. He wasn't overprotective anymore. He wasn't analyzing every move Boat made. He was simply enjoying the moment. Fans in the audience noticed the shift immediately.
Boat waved.
Oat teased him. Boat laughed. Oat laughed with him. It felt like watching them in their early days again. Natural, warm, and comfortable. Clips from the event filled social media. People wrote things like, "They're back. They look so happy. Boat is glowing again. Oat looks relieved. The energy is beautiful." The event became one of the most positive moments in their recent timeline. After the event, they filmed a short talk for their fans. The host asked, "What helped you two get through difficult times?" Boat answered first. He said calmly, "I learned that it's okay to take a break. I learned that I don't have to handle everything alone." Oat looked at him and nodded proudly. Then Oat added, "And I learned that supporting someone is not about fixing everything. It's about being there, even when you don't know the right words." The host was silent for a moment. Fans watching the video later said they felt emotional hearing this. It was simple, it was honest, and it was real. Over the next weeks, Boat and Oat's public image changed drastically. More supportive comments, more love, more positive edits, more fan projects. People began showing appreciation for them as individuals and as a team. Boat's confidence returned. Oat's energy returned. Their partnership looked stronger than ever. They weren't just acting partners. They weren't just colleagues. They had become a team that grew through real pressure, real emotion, and real support. And the public finally saw that. Their story moved from stress to healing, from backlash to support, from negativity to recognition. Boat learned to value himself again. Oat learned the depth of his responsibility and care. Fans learned the importance of kindness. And together, they entered their next chapter stronger, calmer, and more connected than before.